Hi, Santa Claus. Hi, Rainbow Brite. It's good to see you again. Well, it's good to see you too, Santa Claus. So, Father Yule, what brings you back to Rainbow Land? Well, I come back to Rainbow Land, Rainbow Brite, you know, since I need to tell you something. What? I'm going to need a little help this year, helping, with the gifts. And all the things that folks want these days are things that me and my workers do not know how to make. So we end up buying a lot of the toys, a lot of the gifts, whatever, you know. Well, you did come to the right stead, only I'll be willing to help you out, Santa Claus. You know, we both work for God and Jesus, but we do unlike things. I mean, you bring the happiness, you keep the happiness of glee of Jesus' birthday alive, and I help with bringing cast light and brightness to the world. Well, don't worry, Twink says, because I'll help you too. I'll help with the toys, you know, and your elves aren't really any unlike us, you know. Oh, speaking of that, Twink, folks are getting on me. They're saying you can't call them elves anymore. You gotta call them little folk. You know, so many folks that are awake these days, and they make it hard for me to do all the things that I can do. I can't even say ho 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 anymore without someone getting irked or angered. Yeah, I know what you mean, Father Yule. I got my cast kids, and they've been called cast kids for 40 years, 41 years. And now I got folks saying you can't call them cast kids anymore. You gotta call them cast workers. You know what I mean. Well, so anyway, you gonna help me? Oh, don't worry, Starlight says. The world's greatest horse will mine. I'll help you. Well. I will help you. Don't worry about that. And, yeah. Well, all right then. Thank you for willing to help me, Rainbow Brite. I mean, I don't know about Merkwell Dismal. Do you think we can trust him? Well, that's hard to do, Santa Claus. I mean, yes, I have forgiven Merkwell Dismal for everything he has done to me over those 40 or 41 years or so, and I forgave him back in the seventh month. But he hasn't said or did anything in those months to make me think that he's untrustworthy or he hasn't shifted. Yeah, because Merkwell has never been on the good list, and I just hope he gets on the good list now. Well, let me see. Yeah, he's on the good list now. Yeah, well, don't worry about that, you know. And you do know, Rainbow, that there's other folks out there that scathe me or at least shame me and say, Father Yule, you took Yule away from Jesus. Hey, that's not true, Twink said. That's not true. You didn't take Yule away from Jesus. Yule has always and will be Jesus' birthday. You just keep the happiness and glee of that day alive, you know. By giving out those gifts, showing the love and the kindness and the forgiveness that Jesus himself showed. Well, I'm glad you brought that up, Twink. I'm glad you brought that up because at the end of the day, that is the grounds to why I do what I do. I do it to bring the happiness and glee keep the happiness and glee of Jesus' birthday alive. And yes, I put those gifts underneath the Yule tree, and I show the same love and the same kindness and the same forgiveness that Jesus showed folks when he was alive. And even though I know that Jesus done a whole lot, has done more things than I can ever do. you know. Well, let me put this on still. Yes, we all know that Jesus is the Son of God, and that he healed the sick, the wounded, and the handicapped, that he also forgave folks. He taught folks how to forgive, taught folks how to forgive and how to love and how to care for each other. And yes, he even yielded up his life for sin, you know, and he yielded his life for sin. And through his beatings and through his death, we got forever life through God and through Jesus. And God for loved the world so much that he gave us his greatest gift he ever gave mankind and womankind, his son Jesus, who who the gift that God gave us was Jesus. And the gift that God and Jesus both gave us was our sins being atoned for, our sins forgiven. Well, our sins were forgiven, but they were also atoned for, and that we had our stead in heaven through God and through Jesus because our sins were atoned and washed away. And even though God hates sin, he does not hate the sinner, you know. And yes, we all know that, you know. So I'll be willing to help you this Yule with gift giving. If you need any help, the other cast kids will help you, Father Yule. Well, you know, we both work together. I mean, I work in the behalf of God and Jesus to bring cast light and brightness to all worlds that God has put life on and made. And you work to keep the happiness and glee of Yule, Jesus' birthday, alive. Thank you, Rainbow Brite. Thank you, Starlight. Thank you, Twink.